Wait just 1 second, just setting my videos up. So I'm just making sure the camera's set up good. I don't think the laptop's in the way. All right, Facebook is on. All right, guys. So a quick update since I've been streaming for a bit. I think the last day I streamed was day 8, if I'm correct, and I started feeling crappy a couple days after, or a day or so after, I don't remember. My tonsils were really swollen. I just started feeling really fatigued, and I just kept trying to ride it out, but it just got worse. So I had about a week where I was shitty on the diet and missed some training and missed some shots, and then yeah, I just got so worse that I ended up just going to the doctor, getting antibiotics. Is usually when my tonsils are infected. Usually it's not viral, usually it's something worse, and I should have went sooner. So I've been on antibiotics for a couple days now, and I'm feeling basically 100% better. I think this is my 3rd or so day on antibiotics. And everything's basically back to normal. The past 2 days, especially today, my appetite's up back to normal. My sleep isn't bad, my tonsils aren't swollen, I'm feeling great. So basically I had about a week where I did things half-ass, and then I had about 2 or 3 days where I did things really, really bad, where I just was barely eating, and sorry guys, where I was barely eating, and yeah, it was shit. So I'm not where I should be weight-wise, definitely for where I want to be. I'm about 235 pounds now, which is what is that up? It was 210 to 235, which is up 25 pounds. Definitely not where I want to be. I was debating on just calling the cycle quits when this happened, because I already missed so many shots and missed so many workouts. I was just like, you know, what's the point of continuing? I might as well come off now and have a few weeks break, let the receptor desensitize, and then get back on again. But I decided I'm going to stick it out. I'm already this deep. I'm at 235. I know I can at least still squeeze back to 250 with the time that's left. Just getting to my goal of 270 might be a far stretch. However, to 250 is only 15 more pounds, and we have, if it's day 22, there's what, 42 days in 6 weeks. So I'm definitely going to hit 250, I would say. If I hit 260, that would be nice too. But yeah, so we'll see what goes on there. Just thought to give a quick update on what was going on basically, and antibiotics. So probably gonna stop those soon anyways, just because I feel like I only needed a few days on them regardless. So yeah, that's the update basically, fellas. Yeah, I don't think I missed too many workouts. I think I only missed like actually I think I missed about 4 workouts. I missed about 4 days of shots too, I would say. The big thing was about the 2 or 3 days where I only ate like 1-ish or so meals, and then yeah, then the week prior to that, as I said, it was iffy basically. I just, you know, I was maybe missing a meal or so a day for about a week. But yeah, I know this is another horrible time for me to be doing a live stream. It's 4 a.m. Eastern time, or 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. I really got to do this in the daytime. So yeah, if you guys want to do live Q&A, have any questions, let me know. While I wait for questions, maybe I'll read off some questions in the group and answer them. T, how to counter antibiotics. I'm assuming you mean the side effects of antibiotics, of destroying your own your own gut microbe. So basically, I know you're in my group, and you know I always preach prebiotics over probiotics. I don't really like probiotics. All the commercial strains only stay in your gut for about 3 weeks. They don't take host, you know, they don't take host in your system. I don't like a lot of the strain mixtures and stuff. Like, you know, you'll find studies on commercial probiotic strains causing things like brain fog, fatigue, and, you know, just all these random issues. It's like taking a synthetic vitamin. We're taking one single form of, not a nutrient, but, you know, something in our body, a bacteria, when we have, you know, this vast variety of bacteria in our bodies, diversity, and you know, vast different amounts. So us taking 1, 2, or 10 different strains in mega doses or this or that is just, you know, it's throwing things off further. So a lot of people can feel more sick on probiotics. The better way to do it is to focus on prebiotics, which is, you know, foods, basically vegetables and fruits mainly. Vegetables and fruits full of prebiotics, which will not just increase the current bacteria in your body, but also help create more diversity. And on top of that, you know, especially if you have a home garden, not washing your fruits and vegetables help there as well. But that is definitely the way I suggest to go. Taking antibiotics doesn't have to be necessarily a bad thing either, because there's studies that show us taking antibiotics can kind of help. Let's say you have a bad, you know, a bad state in your gut right now with very poor diversity, whatever in your gut. Or not just diversity, but, you know, low of this good stuff, high in whatever bad stuff, bacteria. Taking that antibiotics can actually help reset your current gut state. Where there's a study where they, I'm trying to remember the study better. Don't quote me on this, guys. It's been a while since I've seen the study. Where it was something like where they put people on antibiotics, and then one group just ate the standard American diet, and then one they ate a diet rich in fruits and vegetables, and they showed that the group that ate the diet rich in fruits and vegetables actually had a better bacteria diversity profile than before they started the antibiotics. So it kind of helped reset their gut content off to a much better place, versus the people who ate the standard American diet had a worse off gut bacteria content. So fruits and vegetables, prebiotics, not probiotics. Is there anything I can replace at least some of the white fish with on the camel diet? I absolutely despise most white fish. Can't go full rich piana on it, unfortunately. Meat wise, no, not really. Some pork cuts are a little bit higher phosphorus, but nothing comes close to the Pacific fish choices for looking for high phosphorus for much higher muscle building and much higher fat loss in the diet. So yeah, nothing really comes close to those foods. There is a few different random fishes that are high in phosphorus. Can't remember them off the top of my head. If you like other variety of fishes, maybe it was scallops or squid. I can't remember. Don't quote me on that. You know what? I'll just actually look it up right now. I mean, I'm on the computer. Why not? So let's see. What were the other high phosphorus fish? I think it might have been scallops. Sorry guys, I can't see your questions if there's any right now. Just give me a second. So let me look up scallops, squid. I can't remember which one it is. It's actually bugging me because I knew a lot of them off the top of my head. Okay, so scallops actually can replace it. Squid is medium. It's much better than chicken and beef, but it's medium. So it's like over double chicken and beef equal amounts, but it's about half of some of the white fish. Squid is fully fine. Actually, maybe it was clams. Was the other one? Let's look. Clams. Yeah. Let's see. Again, this is assuming if you like these foods. Clams is about a medium-ish one as well, so not perfect, but it's decent. So yeah, those would be your choices that are in between. Hey big man, I have a bottle of Superdrol here. When gyms open up, I want to start DECA cycles again with insulin. Would you say Dynable is better for those 6 weeks in Superdrol? Oh, that's a really tricky question. First thing, so I have an article on my site where I say, I write how to pick your cycles and choose your cycles, and what I basically break down there is that base your cycles around the sides you need to avoid and want to avoid. So for some, Superdrol is the worst with fatigue and appetite loss. You take 10 milligrams of Superdrol, you're absolutely done with, you just can't eat, you just want to lay in bed all day. And if that happens to you on Superdrol, then you are absolutely, you're not going to see the gains that you would see with something that's a little bit more milder like Dianabol. So what matters the most is what can keep you going and keep you eating. So if Superdrol destroys you, Superdrol is horrible. But however, if you don't get sides from Superdrol, then I would say Superdrol. The strength on it, just everything, it's the more glycogen on it, the more water weight you hold to can be anabolic in a sense as well. So I would say Superdrol. Again, that's if you don't get the sides from it. Dang, making good progress, man. So I remembered I got hair loss from D-ball. Is that possible, or my D-ball was laced with something, and that's not typical of D-ball? So if you check my hair loss video on here, I go over this out of my thousands of clients and followers. D-ball I've never seen cause hair loss in anyone, but except like 1 or 2 people, and generally it was people that were already experiencing hair loss prior to even starting the D-ball. Absolutely, your D-ball could have been laced with something. You see so many crazy things with underground steroid labs. Your D-ball could be methyl test. It's cheaper. It produces more water weight, so people be like, oh wow, this stuff is really good. I've even seen D-ball come up as Winstrol. They're both really cheap, and I don't know, labs do crazy things, whether it's their powder supplier sending them incorrect stuff, or they're like, hey, I want people to see really hard lean results, I'm going to switch up the D-ball. But if you're not running tests with it, you absolutely should not see hair loss on D-ball. Absolutely should not. Ensure that you're not experiencing hair loss already as is, though, as well. Also, have workouts been consistent? No, so I just explained, you probably missed the first bit of this. After I did my last live video, my tonsils got really swollen. I was thinking, okay, I'll just wait it out. I'm feeling fine. I will feel fine. I got extremely exhausted. I spent about a week where I was missing workouts, half-assing my meals, and then I had 2 or 3 days where I just couldn't eat. My tonsils were so swollen. I was feeling horrible. I had to go get antibiotics. I've been on the antibiotics for about 3 days. My tonsils, everything better. My appetite's back up to normal, and I'm feeling great again. So I'm just back at it now. So I'm not where I should be with gain wise. Biggie, not wishing any ill will, but a good friend of mine died shortly after a cycle of Superjol. Superjol is a really interesting oral where you can find studies on very small doses, I think like 20 or 30 milligrams, where case studies of liver failure, which is funny compared to items like D-ball, where the old pros, you know, myself, you guys have maybe seen the video where, you know, I've used like a gram of D-ball a day I messed around with. Old pros use D-ball by the bottle. Nothing floored me, made me just want to sleep all day, made me feel like complete crap, like Superjol at like 30 milligrams. So yeah, Superjol definitely is, it's different than the other typical steroids, absolutely. Oh, thanks, man. We'll probably stay with D-ball then. Too afraid of getting stunted on hunger with Superjol. We'll subscribe to your setting as well. Awesome. Appreciate it. Yeah, there's a lot more new stuff up on the site too. Recently, I've been working hard at it before I got sick there. I got full different training articles up for each muscle group. I got full diet example meal plans up. So I got, I forget, I posted like 20 articles or so before I got sick. I'm getting a lot of stuff up there. So yeah, been on test site Primo cycle for 4 weeks. My first cycle in 8 months. Wanting to try NPP only now. Roughly how long should I wait before doing a cycle of NPP? Would I need a mini PCT or anything? So I'm not sure if you've read my article yet, but go to tan.com. It's on the front. Under articles, you'll see androgen receptor downregulation, short versus long cycle to get like the bigger picture of it. All your gains stop by week 6, whether it's on long Easter or short Easters. So you've been on a cycle for a while. You should have test E. Can't remember what you said. Site. So I'd have about 4 to 5 weeks off your cycle to let the androgen receptors resensitize again, and then go back on cycle. You know, if you just jump cycle to cycle, you're not going to really see any more gains. As I explained in my article, that 6 weeks, 90% of strength and size was seen within the first 6 weeks. I cite many endless pros that talk about how their gains stop by week 6. What else? Yeah, I cite multiple different studies where they show, because everybody talks about androgen receptors upregulating in the, well, due to anabolic steroid use, but that's the initial use of anabolic steroids. When further on, nobody cites studies that show, you know, let's say a month down the road, where what happens to the androgen receptors and that they actually do downregulate. And then there's studies on showing that they had groups of men where, you know, they had high responders and low responders, and regardless of the serum levels of their hormones like testosterone, whoever had the better androgen receptor expression were the ones that saw the most gain. So this is why steroids work. They work by increasing your androgen receptors, and then once they plummet down again, they don't really work anymore. They only have an anti-catabolic effect. So I would have 4 to 5 weeks off. Biggie Small says, what the fuck, 1 gram a day? Yeah, I actually did a period of like 6 months, I think it was, where I did like 200 to 300 milligrams of D-ball a day-ish. And then yeah, I did like 2 weeks done. I wanted to try the old pro cycles. If you check my D-ball only cycle video, you see I cite a doctor from who had a lot of patients that were old pro bodybuilders, pro wrestlers, and powerlifters, and it was common for them to use a bottle of D-ball a day. His patient with the worst case of abuse was 7 bottles of D-ball a day. So I thought, what the hell, I'm gonna try a gram for like 2 weeks. I only got 2 weeks, and I couldn't handle it. So, should I look for white fish with high phosphorus content and find the one I can actually eat? Yeah, basically. That's basically it. Wait, what's it like being so dreamy, bro? I don't know, I can't think of a good comeback for that one. Trying to think, what's a good comeback? Here, I gotta think. This one you'll get. The success to being dreamy is not having a mentally unstable girlfriend. You'll appreciate that one. He would not talk about it. He was already going through beef with parents and toxic girlfriend, and I only found out in the Arizona obituaries of his fate. Okay, that was the Superdrug death. Well, let me do that. Yeah, I know you'd appreciate that. Okay, can I transition from 150 milligrams test E cruise/cut directly into 50 milligrams test E plus 900 milligrams NPP? Can't stand the cut anymore and want to make something out of higher calories for a few weeks. So you want to go from 150 milligrams. Okay, so you're on a cruise, and yes, you can. I would say wait about 10 to 14 days of no test to kind of let it lower, let the estrogen come down, because when you add that NPP, it's going to jack up the aromatization of testosterone. So if you're prone to gynosize, you might want to wait there, and it also will jack up prolactin from the test. So you might want to wait about 10 days of no test, and then you start that cycle. And then again, if you're eating a proper diet, higher fats like me, I'm only on 420 milligrams of NPP. My estrogen, well, this is just symptoms. I've had blood work in the past, but my estrogen is fine. I know when my estrogen goes too low, but I eat a lot more fats than most people, because you need fats to help estrogen production. So yeah, you shouldn't need to test at all, but especially a 900 milligrams NPP, and if you're eating properly. If you were part of the cage, you might have known him. Oh, I think that's to somebody else. Did you experience dramatic gains during those 6 months? No, I just stayed the same. I just looked hard during the whole time. You know, my muscles looked full. I was just, you see, this is the whole purpose. I wanted to try mega dosing, how some people used to say, oh, you know, the more you take is all you need. You can eat maintenance, do whatever. So I thought, hey, what the hell? Why don't I mega dose of shit of the steroids and see if I'll just gain while I can relax? You know, why not take the easy way? So I tried it, and no, I see no gains at all, absolutely none. And it wasn't until after that where I was like, you know, okay, I did that experiment, and I was like, you know, I want to gain again. I came off everything for a bit, and I started my cycle 400 milligrams DECA a week, and I ate my ass off, and that was when I gained the 50 pounds, 25 pounds new weight, 1.5 inches new on my arms, and I was the biggest I ever been off 400 DECA. Is tuna a great protein source? I love eating it. No, I don't like tuna. I don't like the nutrient composition of it. Yeah, I don't like tuna. Can you eat it? Absolutely. What do you think of Leo/Derek recommending running HCG on cycle to maintain testicle health and low cholesterol? Though I probably know the answer to cholesterol. So yes and no on that. Is it great to keep your other hormones and other systems functioning? Absolutely. The issue with, so my main issue with HCG is, my main focus is guys who usually come to me ask me questions are guys that want to avoid sides. You know, then there's the other groups who just take South Legal Ball, they get gyno, they take AIs, they take this, they take that, and they don't give a crap. So my suggestion is, you're putting your health at risk in a sense by taking steroids. We want to limit all those risks basically. And, you know, we can take a few different things to limit those risks, like vitamin K2 to help the heart disease, prevent it and reverse it. However, sorry, I read something. Okay, however, when you add HCG, even on low doses like 125 mcg every other day, I find most guys get prolactin sides, they get hair loss from the prolactin, they get high E sides, and they're just creating more of a mess of other hormones in their body. And it's not fully supplying every single thing you need. So it's kind of like this. You're taking steroids, you're creating a huge catastrophe in your body, shutting things down, you're creating a mess in your body. Is it best to try and replace everything that you possibly can? Sure, absolutely. But if it's going to create more and more sides on something like a short cycle, and that's another reason I suggest short cycles. I like to get in, get out, you know, you set the fact that you're going to be shut down in some other areas, but you're going to get a nice side-free cycle, get in, get out, and then you recover and focus on having every hormone recover. And that's why I normally don't suggest HCG. You know, it's kind of like, it's a middleman in the place of the whole hormone production in cascade, right? Targets one area, and that's why I like a proper PCT with Clomid, which will hit everything and recover everything. So can you do it? Absolutely yes. You're likely to suffer a fair few sides, at least, you know, my experience, most people. So go ahead if you don't suffer the side, sure. If you do, you're just creating, you're just creating more of a mess when you're trying to run a cycle without having side effects as is. Another possible way to go about it is Clomid, which is proven to prevent shutdown on cycle. That would be a better alternative, but that has its side effects with it. So I'd rather somebody run Clomid if that's the main effect they're trying to achieve, preventing shutdown. So yeah. What is it? Oh, that's my phone. I wonder what that was in the camera. Will you do a sleep study at 270 pounds, and can I have my muscles back after your 6-week cycle? Figure Steve. Well, it depends, Steve. So if I hit 270 pounds, I don't think I will hit 250 for sure. Absolutely, I will hit 250. I think I'll hit 260. I need to push myself. I could be eating better this whole time. I need to push myself. I think I'll hit 260. But the thing is, my plan, I'm not going to quit working out again. I'm going to continue to work out no matter what, even if it's like once or twice a week. Like, I'm not going through this again where I take like a year off and do this and that. So I plan to keep the muscle that I gain. So, as we already had in our exchanges, you're going to have to stay small, and I'm going to have to get big and stay big. As for a sleep study, I've never had any sleep issues, any sleep apneas and stuff like that myself. I've never been affected by it. Will I be affected by it at 230? Who knows? I've definitely never been affected by it myself. Doing 25 milligrams Clomid myself, as I get no noticeable sides from it, up to 50 milligrams. Is Alcar plus ALA a good combo to increase acetylcholine for gut motility? Anything else that works to increase acetylcholine in the gut? Yes. Anything basically, with the acetyl form in it, even apple cider vinegar will help increase acetylcholine. However, you want to look at it more so from a nutrient standpoint of the nutrients you need to make it. Another thing, because I know you have slow motility and bloating, is why you're asking. I'd also look at serotonin as well. Low serotonin in the gut will also lead to it. A few things like gargling and stuff will help increase the vagus nerve with acetylcholine as well. Really looking forward to the new articles on training and sample meal plan, but my login isn't working anymore. Okay, David. Yeah, I'll look into that after I get off the live stream, actually. I forgot about that. Is there a maximum runtime for Clomid though? I'm slightly worried that even at 25 to 50 milligrams, running it for more than 4 weeks might cause some issues. Well, Clomid is a pretty highly studied drug. We have women that take it for years on end. Asking the side effects from 4 weeks versus running it for 5 years. It's a very well studied drug, right? Tian, how long does one need to be on growth till you actually see a difference? I've been told up to 8 months. Depends on what you're asking. If you're asking about muscle growth, go to my website, tian.com, read my HGH article. So out of 40 years of studies on HGH, there has never been a single speck of muscle growth. There's been increasing lean body mass, which has been water weight. But when they actually do muscle biopsies, whether it's on athletes or 27 IU a day, they never saw a single speck of muscle growth ever on HGH. You're not going to see direct muscle growth benefits of HGH. You are, however, going to see a lot of water weight that's going to balloon you up in the first week, which can be anabolic indirectly, but very modest at best. And you're going to see fat loss, right away within the first few weeks. But yeah. Anything bigger, Steve, anything over 255 pounds is a win, brother. I'll meet you there in a few months when I'm ready to get back on the Sazzle. Absolutely. But again, I'm 6'4", right? So me getting 255 is like, it's still what I'm thinking here, minor league by a long shot, right? And my body fat's not going to be that lean my body fat's not that lean right now. I'm going to be a little bit, not fat, but a little bit of body fat. So I think at my body weight, I'm going to need a good 300 to just look to look moderate is what I would say. A 300 on my body fat to look moderate. And again, I still think my body fat's still around 20 right now. So yeah. Let's see how thick, solid, and tight you can get, Steve. Wow, 6'4" and handsome. Thanks, Cliff. Appreciate the kind words. Is there a maximum run time? Oh no, I already read that. Anything over? How much protein should you eat on 75 to 100 mcg T3 for muscle growth? Completely individual, because you know, like insulin resistance, 100 IU to you might be 10 IU to me. All depending on your insulin resistance. You have a thing called thyroid hormone receptor sensitivity as well. You do with every hormone. So yeah, so your 50 to 70 mcg might be like 25 to me, or vice versa, whatever, right? No matter what, I like guys, no matter what they're doing, basically to eat 300 grams of protein. 300 to 500 grams, depending on the size you're on, if you're on a lot of anabolics, this and that. 300 grams minimum, and I think most people are fine on that dose. Again, that's just a complete guess, basing off, you know, whatever. So yeah. Vigor Steve, will you be peeled off your tree? All right, I think you got all the questions. Hold on, guys. Send more questions while I do something. We just got a new light today, fellas. Haven't really played around with it yet. So guys, I'm just gonna set this up for a second because I wanted to test it out today. While I wait for questions. What is that set? See how this puppy goes. All right, no questions. It's pretty cool. It's got a magnet in it too, so I can hang it from the ceiling if I need be. I meant thanks for answering, Tian. Let's test this out, fellas. Hold on a second. Let's see how that looks. It doesn't make too big of a difference. You can't really change the ISO on when I'm live though, so I'm not expecting it to make too much of a difference. Here, let me jack up the thing. To be honest, your lighting already looks pretty good. Thanks, appreciate it. How does it look with the blue? Yeah, you can't really tell the difference, I think, because my I can't change the ISO on the goddamn thing, which I hate because I'm doing live. That's that. I don't like this tripod. Whatever. See how it looks. What did I miss? Somebody said something. Hey guys on Facebook, I'm on YouTube right now too. Easy to read the questions there. It's bright and there's nothing on video that gets washed out. How's training be going for you? Have you been on point with food, training, or missing workout? Okay, so I'm gonna have to answer this one again. Sorry guys. Okay, so after I did my last video, I started feeling sick. My tonsils started feeling swollen. Usually it's my tonsils, it's like bacterial, and I get very sick. So when I did my last video, I started feeling really sick. I got exhausted. My sleep, I couldn't eat, so I had a bit of week where I did really shitty, but I still worked out here and there. I missed some shots, I missed some workouts, and then I had 3 or so days where I basically didn't eat, didn't work out, didn't do my shots. I went and got antibiotics. Been on antibiotics for about 3 days, and I'm feeling like 100% better now. So I got a little bit off track there, sadly, but back on track now. I was gonna end the cycle, but you know, I figured if I end the cycle now, I'm gonna want to have probably like a good 4 weeks off to let my receptors desensitize, and then have to do it all over again when I already kind of made it not halfway there, but I was just, you know, it's like, who cares? It was about a week and a bit of, you know, being off. I still feel I can get a lot out of this. So yeah, I still feel I can get a lot out of this, so I stayed on, and I'm gonna stay on track here. That looks sick. Lighting is good, but not for taking physique pics. Will wash out hard. Yeah, I know. I think it's because when I'm doing live, right? I can't lower the ISO, so any bit of light looks really, really hard. But when I don't do live, if you see my other videos, I can change the ISO, and it's not as hard. But yeah. Sorry, I'm looking at the light. I want to fix that light. Definitely keep it going. Add an extra 7 days on the end. Can't help being sick. Well, the issue, if you know my philosophy fully, I'm not sure if you do know, that antibiotics only work for about 6 weeks, and there's multiple studies on this, whether it's long Easters or short Easters. And you know, just my experience has been too, where what was I saying? Where no matter what I do, the first 6 weeks, no matter what I do, the weight just flies on. You know, I'm doing great, you know, it piles on exactly like the studies show. Then come that 6 weeks mark, and same with all my clients, I tell them when they fight me, they'll be like, no, I just want to go a little bit longer, the gains have been so good. I'm like, go ahead, go longer, track your weight, see how it goes. And what happens a week or two later, like, man, I'm not gaining, I'm stuffing my face, I'm even eating more, I've gained like a pound. And that's always been my experience. You know, my weight skyrockets past that 6 week mark. I don't care how much food I freaking put in my body, I won't even get fat. It just nothing happens. So it's a bit of a piss off knowing that I missed that a bit over a week of the magic period of AAs. So it takes me off a fair bit, but I'm gonna pile through it and, you know, get what I get out of it. What weight did you start at? I started at 210. So 210 to 235, 25 pounds gains, and that's with, you know, a week and a bit of a screw up, which sucks. Are you on orals? No, absolutely not. You know, I kept debating it because, you know, I get greedy. It's like, oh, I want to add a little bit of D-ball. I love D-ball. But, you know, my appetite was going so good. You know, the cycle was going so good. You know, fatigue, sleep, this and that, everything's just going great. And, you know, I sticking to the NPP, and I'm glad I have. Oh, yeah, true. Just looked at your multivitamin vid, and it is right on there. Is there any specific junk food items you think, hold on. What was that? Where did the comment go? Is there any specific junk food items you think don't ruin physique during fat loss or muscle gain? Avoiding almost all grains and cutting out dairy doesn't have much room for desserts. So that, you know, depends on what you mean by junk food. Some people consider something like, McDonald's junk food. And it's like, well, what's the difference between McDonald's and the food you eat at home? McDonald's says a chicken burger. It's chicken, but it's breaded. So, and then you have a bun. So you're having carbs, which some people would on a cut just eat pasta and stuff anyways, which is still wheat. So a lot of people eat that same thing and they're not really eating anything different. The only difference might be is that the McDonald's food is deep fried in a vegetable oil. So it depends on what you mean by junk food compared to, let's say, a normal person. You know, not my dietary advice, because, you know, I focus on all the different nutrients and crap like that. So depends on what you're asking about junk food. Or if you're asking for like desserts and stuff like that, then yes and no, absolutely. It also depends if you're talking about from a health standpoint and a body composition standpoint, right? You know, because if you're to say you want ice cream dairy, you know, I don't like dairy because it raises estrogen, lowers testosterone, and lowers LH in men and boys, the prostate cancer links and this and that. However, if you're asking for a safe alternative, like some dark chocolate or some carob or some sorbet ice cream and stuff like that, then absolutely yes, there is room on that, fitting into your specific macros. So at the same time, which you may know, you know, I don't like to base things off macros because food composition, even when the macros are the same, will determine if you gain fat or you gain muscle or lose muscle and so on, right? So where was I going with that? So, you know, let's say you have dark chocolate, which will be high in you know, the fatty acids will have a lot of the saturated fatty acid makeup that are similar to palm oil, and you know, palm oil studies show they more tend towards fat gain than other fats. So yes, there is and there isn't with knowing your body and knowing your macros and stuff like that. Yeah, there is and there isn't. It depends on your fat gain and the fat you're already getting from diet. Example, something like sorbet ice cream is a lot more easier, being because of it's mostly glucose based, right? That is something that, you know, no matter what, doesn't necessarily add fat to somebody, although it takes up energy requirements, which can make the excess fat in your diet that was making up some of the energy intake go towards fat, because your body has the extra energy need from the glucose. So this is a really big topic to get into here. So yeah, you would need to, if you're eating a diet high in polyunsaturated fat and low in the fats that are shown to cause fat gain versus muscle gain, then absolutely you can eat a lot of different sugary carb snack desserts, is basically the answer. I think I've had a sub-Q leak last injection, which was 1 week ago. 3 milliliters of oil. Right glute has been really swollen since then, and I'm bedridden. Should I expect it to get better, or am I fucked? So I shoot sub-Q a lot of the times, and usually like above 0.3 ml, depending on the concentration, you know, milligram per milliliter, is fine by most people. I shoot really shallow, and I've had that happen all the time. If you get really swollen and bedridden like that, usually it's the gear has crashed in your body, and it's crashed sub-Q, you know, which crystallizes, and it's very painful. This is usually what I tell people. You know, again, I'm not a doctor, so I'm not saying to do this. This is just what I do. I noticed after about a week, if something like a sterile abscess or something has set in, you give it about 5 days and it should slightly start to get better. If it is a bacterial infection, it will only get worse. You know, the bacteria will just keep spreading and getting worse. So if by the 5-day mark, if it's getting worse, more painful, then that's when I would see a doctor myself. But if it's starting to get better, then I know, you know, something like a sterile abscess, it's crashed and it's slowly starting to get better. Have you had a heart scan done before? Is it bigger, pumping normal? Absolutely, yeah. My heart's always been absolutely fine. Everything. So I've had a few CT scans, even you know, whole body for a couple of different reasons in the past, and semi recently. Which CT scans are horrible for you, obviously. It was related to an unrelated issue, and every time you know, basically every organ in my body is grossly unremarkable in appearance, as always noted. You know, so basically, you know, every health checkup with things like that, I'm always really great. Except for recently, I actually developed fatty liver disease, and which isn't a surprise for me, because this past 2 years-ish has been about the worst time I've had with my diet. I've done the least activity because, you know, I work from home, no working out, zero activity at all, and eating insane amounts of fructose, like hundreds of grams a day, and eating a very high fat diet, and you're not working out, just eating complete shit, utter complete shit, and go figure. And my hormones would have been low too, so which low testosterone and low androgens leads to fatty liver disease too. So yeah, I definitely had that one coming. Ice cream, sticky buns, cinnamon buns, donuts, red bean smoothie. So like all that stuff is, pretty crappy, right? There's no nutrients in them. They're wheat based, just nutrient void. They're pretty crappy. Can some people get away with that? Absolutely. Are they bettering their health and stuff like that? Absolutely not. Like somebody like me, I always got lean or eating complete junk like that. Absolutely not healthy, and a lot of people can't. Can I throw sunflower seeds in the blender with my shake? Absolutely. My preferred method though is to coffee grind my seeds into a powder and then put it into a shake if I was doing that. That type of thing. Mochi, ice cream, oatmeal, raisin, cookies, pretty much anything stuff. Nicely too. The same as Steve then. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I seen Steve that he had fatty liver disease. But I think our causes would be different because as far as I know, Steve was continually working out. He was continually take androgens and stuff like that. So I think his was completely, I don't know why he got his. I don't know what he was doing diet-wise or if he was training. I wasn't sure. I'm not sure what he was doing in his personal life. But me, absolutely, is given. Like, I should have been much worse off. Like, I'm talking like the past 2 years, man. Like, literally, the only activity I do is go to the grocery store. Zero walking, zero exercise, absolutely nothing at all. And then on top of it, like 1 liter, 2 liters of soda a day, like high fat food, and I was shut down too, right? Like I just said, low androgens can cause fatty liver disease. So I was in the worst possible state ever to get something like that. I just, was an idiot. What's your test level when natty, like after 12 weeks after a cycle? So that depends, because I've had periods where, so example, the past 2 years, since I quit cycling, I didn't take anything. I didn't do, what's your real job? This is my real job, the coaching and my website, tan.com. This has been my real job for a fair few years now. So yeah, what's your test level when natty like? So here's the thing, when I'm off, my testosterone has been 2 nmol, and I feel absolutely fine. My libido's through the roof. I'm great. I'm great in every single aspect in life. And so sometimes I'll come off and just be like, I just won't care. It's not on my mind. And, I'll just ride through life like that because, I know, I just feel fine and it's not on my mind. What was I saying? But then, after a while, I'm like, oh shit, I should take something to recover. So here's the thing I've noticed with me, because I'm always off for like 1 year, 2 years, whatever. I run a cycle and I just come off. So yeah, I don't recover unless I take something. This is the interesting with my body. So I could be 1 year plus off and my testosterone will be done. It's bottomed out. But the second I take a PCT item, like literally within 2 weeks, it doesn't matter if it's 1 year later or like a few weeks later, I'm recovered, literally. Literally within 2 weeks, I'm recovered. So yeah, and it doesn't matter how, so things like my last time I recovered was just Arimidex and AI, right? As you've seen in studies, Arimidex, it restores LH, it restores testosterone. Last time I got 2 weeks on Arimidex, I was recovered. It was so, and that's my body though. 2 nmol and feel great. Left on, damn, that's good for you. I feel like shit with like 5 days. Yeah, I honestly would not notice a difference, man. I forget why I even got to get it tested. I was thinking, I think I did it because I was like, oh, why don't I see what my testosterone was at? It was like after 1 year off, and like literally, like I wouldn't be able to tell the difference, whether it's libido and wanting, to orgasm 6 times a day. Like I'm just totally feeling normal in every single sense. I've experienced similar stuff to what you were saying regarding high dosages. Got up to 1 grams test, 700 milligrams tren, and 100 droll a day, eating 5 calories per day and scale not moving. This was after being on lower doses for several months. Yeah. Also felt lethargic as couldn't sleep at all. Yeah, absolutely. It's not worth it. Androgens only work for 6 weeks. You blast what your body can handle. More is better, absolutely, yes, but more can also deter your appetite and stuff like that. So, if it's a point where it's ruining your appetite, you're not going to gain anything, right? So, like, you have to, it's all about basing your cycles around what you what works for you, what was I saying? What allows you to function at peak performance in the gym, sleep, and appetite and stuff like that. Absolutely. So guys, just want to test the light there for a second. What do I want to do? Oh yeah, hold on. So I'm gonna move my desk for a second here, guys. Just wanted to see how the setup looked. If this works without me toppling everything over. Is that gonna work? Or am I gonna crash everything? Hold on. I can't feel any difference on 250 milligrams test versus 1,250 tests. Same size and power. Why is that? Is my body burnt out? Receptors? Absolutely. If you were around, I'm not sure if you're around when I just said that. After 6 weeks, you initially start anabolics, your androgen receptors jack up. After 6 weeks, the androgen receptors return back down to baseline, and you only get an anti-catabolic effect. This is why studies on long Easters and short Easters show that the anabolic effect is only you get the strength and size of anabolic effect is from the androgen receptor increase during the first 6 weeks. I was saying, and then the other studies show that for strength and size, when they had groups of men that who responded the most with due to training, regardless of their serum levels. So if you had high serum levels but low androgen receptor content, you saw basically no muscle growth. So your androgen receptor content is what matters the most. There was talk that DNP could wipe out COVID in people. I think it was DNP mentioned before. It was seemingly wiped out by social media. Any truth to it? I didn't see that. Possibly, maybe, right? Like there's a lot of drugs that will have a lot of different effects on viruses and stuff. A lot of drugs that have different effects most people don't even have a single clue about, right? So maybe, but I've never seen that study or looked into it. I think DNP is a horrible drug. Do you like test suspension? I don't like testosterone, period, at all. I don't like testosterone, period. It's a weaker anabolic. The sides, you have to use more drugs to control the sides. Gynecomastia, hair loss, blow, acne, and stuff that people get. And then appetite suppression from the high estrogen. Yeah, I don't like testosterone at all. And then as for suspension, no, I wouldn't want something where you have to inject frequently. I think it's too much life stress. So guys, I'm just testing out the what it's like further away from the camera here on the video quality. I'm not sure if the microphone's worse because I'm further away from the camera now. Might be. Let me move that closer. MK says MK677 in GHRP. Oh shit. Don't drop that. Okay. MK677 and GHRP versus real HGH. Completely different drugs, completely different everything, completely different effects, all of them. Studies on MK677, regardless of dose, regardless of whatever, show fat gain. HGH, regardless of dose or diet or anything like that, shows fat loss. Completely different drugs. MK6-7 over time doesn't really raise GH, but it'll keep your IGF-1 elevated. All completely different drugs. GHRP is the best, is the items that I like the most, just because you don't get as many of the side effects. Like the insulin resistant isn't as harsh because it's mimicking a more natural response, right? It's only going up in peaks, but you get a lot of the benefit from it, like the water retention, which can be indirectly anabolic in and of itself. So always GHRP like items is what I choose for suggestions. What's your training split? So I've been doing back, chest. Then my days off have been weird because I got sick a little bit there, so they're kind of all over the place. But the initially it was going to be back, chest, off, arms, delts, legs, then off before back again. Yeah, that was what it was. And that's what it is. It's just my off days are kind of here and there, and they're a bit more all over the place right now. Assuming that estrogen can be kept in range with AI and there are no obviously side effects, is there any reasons to avoid tests besides personal preference? How do I answer that? So test is good for strength and stuff like that. Like as you see in studies, tests compared to DECA will have better strength. Tests at higher dosages has better muscle gain, but that is water weight, because lower dosage, and then other studies they show that DECA actually had more muscle gain, and as we know, DECA doesn't have the water weight gain as testosterone. So it really truly is a personal preference. Example, you having to use AI, you're having to take another drug to control a side effect that you otherwise wouldn't have to. So here's the only benefit to test over example DECA is strength. That's really the only benefit, is more strength. But again, you could get more strength by running a DHT with DECA. So really, if you get no sides like acne, hair loss, blow, whatever, then and appetite loss, because tests can destroy your appetite due to estrogen, then no, the only difference is test has more sides, but it's better in strength. That's the trade-offs basically that you're going for. What are your best lifts? I've never maxed out ever. I used to always, when I first started training, I really enjoy intense and low reps, and that's when I very first started training, and I love that. But I never ever got anywhere near to maxing out, like usually just like 5 reps on a lot of stuff. But I've always been scared to max out just because, I never like the thought of risking an injury. So my best lifts, man, that's so hard to even think, because again, I never even tried to max out, so I wouldn't even know. And then I quit lifting heavy early on too. Like I think the max I did on bench was 275 for 8 or 12 reps, maybe. I can't remember. This was like probably 8 years, like eight years ago probably. That's the last time I actually trained somewhat heavy. And then after that is when then I kept having my periods off, whatever, on and off. And then when I realized what my body liked the best, after I kept seeing so many pros be like, oh no, even Ronnie Coleman, 12 to 20 reps was the best. And I really kept doing more research into it, and I realized that, hey, there's a lot of science showing that actually low reps in certain people, especially too, actually caused no muscle growth, and the only way they grew was higher reps. And then when I seen all that and just so many pros swearing about it, I decided to try it. And then ever since then, I completely ditched any single bit of like lower rep thing in semi-training for strength. Sorry, best was, I have no idea. It's been so many years since I even did it, and again, when I did, it was always higher. Here's the thing, even when I trained low reps, I was still far away from failure, just to not overexert myself. Trying to remember, even on like deadlift, again, yeah, this is when my body weight would have been so much lower. Like I did 3 plates for deadlift, I remember, and I think I did 18 reps. But again, this was like so many years ago, when I way far away from my peak anyways, and I was like 200. like 210 pounds, maybe even. And that's small for me, right? Because I'm at 6'4". Yeah, I've never really trained for strength. Only in the beginning, like when I was really small and starting out, I really like motility, like a lot of like 5 to 6 and so reps. What was I saying? I don't think anyone who's remotely, healthy should be worried about COVID and the flu. It's more risk. Yeah, absolutely. Like even here recently, they did a little I can't think of the word when you compile the data or something. It was like 75% were all people in old folks home. Much higher risk if you're young, you're dying from the flu. So what are you going to do? You still going to continue the cycle? Yeah, I'm going to continue the cycle. I decided I'm already this far. I have half the cycle. How long do I have? How long do I have? If I'm at 22 days and 6 weeks is 42 days, right? So I have about half the cycle left. And so I was like, if I have about half the cycle, that's a good amount of time to get some decent gains. And I just played it out. I was like, do I restart? Because you're only anabolic for 6 weeks. Losing a week and a bit is pretty freaking crappy, right? But I was like, you know what? I already started it, and I want to make it a big bang. If I come off for 4 weeks and keep my weight and then go again, it's not a big of a bang doing it in 2 cycles, even though one was cut short. So I was like, you know what? About half the cycle left, I can minimum get 250. I absolutely will get 250. And, that is me selling myself short. I really think I can still hit 260. And that's so good. And I was thinking, see, I'm a perfectionist with a lot of things. It's like, if I go out, I got to go all out. I got to make a shocker, 270, gain whatever, 60 pounds. I got to go so hard and so big. But then I was like, you know what? I got to get rid of that mindset. I got to accept, if I get to 250 again in one cycle, that's great. I just got to get big again, look good again, and, plan the next perfect cycle afterwards, basically. So yeah, hold on, guys, 1 second. All right. What did I miss? When will the gyms in Canada open again? I have no idea. Where I live, they were actually open for a good bit. Everywhere else was shut down, but my area gyms were open for like the longest time. They only recently shut them down. About the time I started my cycle, actually, is when they shut them down, I remember. And I was shocked too, because they were open the whole time, and they're even open 24 hours, and everybody was like, I felt special. It was like, oh wow, my gyms in my area are open, this will be good for me. Yeah, I don't know, they put us into a major lockdown again for basically no reason, and how old are you? I'm actually 33 today, this very day, February 6th. Forgot it was my, oh, I knew it was my birthday before I came on my live, but I forgot it was my birthday right now during the live. So yeah. Wild. It will be cool to see how far you can get. Flex for us. I'm wearing a sweater today, guys. I should have measured my arms beforehand, but I did an arm workout yesterday, and they're like 18 inches pumped. I think after they were pumped, I think they're up to 17.5. So, you know, that is a decent bit of progress. They're still not up to where they were, which sucks. I don't know why I'm measuring my arms in a sweater, because it's going to be so freaking stupid. So in a sweater, the arms are 17 and a half, I think. But again, that's in a goddamn sweater. I think they're a bit under 17 and a half without the sweater. When is the next workout stream? So I just started working out again, right? Because I was sick. I'm not sure if you read that. And I was going to stream those workouts, but I just wasn't like mentally there. I wasn't even mentally get on the stream today, and I was just like, screw it, whatever, I'm going to do it. And I did it. But I should start that up soon again. Happy birthday. Thanks, Easy Gaming. Happy birthday. You look 27. Usually my skin looks a lot better, but even for me, I know it's like drastically, you know, whether it's my pores and my skin elasticity and just like the plumpness and firmness and all that, usually it looks immensely better. But just because I've been eating lately, it hasn't been 100% optimal of what I want to be eating, and so it's a lot more rougher right now. You guys in Canada can buy steroids over the counter. Hey, no, we can't buy steroids over the counter. We can buy some of the best insulins. The insulins that I like, that I usually suggest, Lantus and Humalog, whereas America is like Humulin and Levemir, I think, which I don't like those insulins. So you can get the good insulins, but yeah, we can't. In Canada, we're legal to possess and own steroids, but illegal to buy and sell steroids. So if you're caught with steroids, they can't do anything. You know, they have them on you. Post skin routine. So right now I'm not doing any skin routine. I should be. So a few different things. One, you know, people, if you're focusing on moisturizing and all that crap, like you're going about it the wrong way. You heal from the inside out, right? You want to build new skin tissue and proper skin. You know, collagen, elasticity, you know, whatever. You're building it from the inside out. You want to ensure the camel diet, right? My diet. I'm not sure if you're in my group, if I'm talking to a normal follower or somebody new. Get all your nutrient sets at first. I always tell people, go to chronometer.com. Ensure you're getting all your nutrients for proper collagen production. Vitamin C, the B vitamins. You need every single nutrient for proper skin hydration too. That's a very important thing many people don't look at as well, right? If your skin is even a little bit dehydrated, it's going to age faster. The collagen is going to break down. Ensure you're getting every single vitamin and nutrient on Chronometer from food. After that, proper sleep is super important. People who are sleep deprived have worse skin hydration. So proper sleep, proper diet, which is kind of like a general vague thing. Just go to Chronometer, make sure you're getting all your nutrients. Then after that, what you're doing extra, which might not be as much common sense, is fats. Monounsaturated fatty acids and polyunsaturated fatty acids. Your skin, the epidermis, is made up of 60% linoleic acid, which is omega-6. Something people shy away from today. You may notice some bodybuilders have great skin and some have that really aged, weathered look. A lot of that is because of, you know, chicken and rice diet that is completely devoid of the specific fats that we need. So sleep, all your vitamins, minerals, and then your fats. So the way you can get the two fats that I suggested, my main thing is nuts and seeds. Most seeds are high in polyunsaturated fatty acids, and then the nuts is where you'll get your monounsaturated fatty acids. Sleep, diet, nuts and seeds in a good amount. Then after that, another thing is a GLA supplement or food source. So there's only like 4 items on earth which have GLA in it, and hemp seeds is one of them. So I like hemp seeds as one of my main sources. So as we age, one of the main reasons why we age, our skin and hair health goes to crap is an enzyme called the D6D enzyme. When we age, this lowers. The D6D enzyme is what we take omega-6 linoleic acid and convert it into gamma-linolenic acid, GLA. This is one of the most important things for your skin health and hair health. So hemp seeds, a lot of hemp seeds for direct GLA, because if we're not converting it as well, we might as well get it directly from one of the rare foods on earth. So GLA supplements with adequate fats, those are the biggest and most important things. Having adequate fats, like another thing, polyunsaturated fats is one of the most important things for cell hydration and skin hydration. So having adequate polyunsaturated fats is going to keep your skin looking very plump, firm, full of moisture, and that will prevent aging and help you look really youthful and good. And then lastly, more collagen. So skins with meats. Your skin, you need the specific amino acids like proline and glycine, which are high in collagen products, and they're low in muscle meat products. So it's like you eat the foods that are the areas you want to improve. You want better skin, you eat skin. And then after that, I'm very bad at this, and it's so funny. If you do this, you'll notice results within a few days. You touch your face with hot water, like I like to splash my face with hot water. You touch your face with hot water even once, it'll ruin your skin for days. Just do, even in the shower, when you're having a shower, hot water, whatever in your body, even though you shouldn't use it at all. Hot water on your body, and don't touch your face for a second with hot water. The only thing you put on your face is cold water. Within a few days, your pores will shrink to nothing. Your skin will look so much more plump and moist because you're not dehydrating it. But yeah, that is a really, really big important tip. Need to sleep. Would appreciate if this live was made viewable as a video in your list of videos. Absolutely, I believe I always do that, or try to. Any experience with Accutane? I think it's a horrible drug. If you're using it, you know what I mean, you're mega dosing vitamin A in a synthetic form. As studies show, synthetic vitamin A is 10 times more toxic than natural vitamin A. It's kind of like synthetic progesterones increase cancer and do this and do that, yet natural bioidentical progesterone will actually have an anti-cancer benefit. If you have acne problems, the biggest thing I find with this is people eating an incorrect ratio of fats. The specific fats is what will make your sebum either thinner or thicker and clog. Normally in my group, you see a million people say this, after I tell them to do this one simple change. Eat less monounsaturated fatty acids. Olive oil, avocado, whatever, peanut butter, whatever monounsaturated fats you might be eating, and it might be hidden, and increase your polyunsaturated fatty acids. This will improve the sebum, your sebum viscosity, and this 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, will get rid of the acne. However, if your vitamin A actually is low, I suggest you balance your vitamin A so you don't get vitamin A side effects like taking just Accutane. I suggest taking something like eating more fish or cod liver oil, which will have A and D in better amount, so you won't get the toxicity from vitamin A and actually help get rid of your acne. But yeah, Accutane is horrible. Liver effects, it dry out your skin, cause hair loss, constipation, nausea. It's horrible. You're giving yourself vitamin A toxicity. Sorry, some of these questions, like, they're good questions, but like, I could literally go on and on and on and in depth about every single goddamn area on, you know what I mean? Like the toxicity of vitamin A and the exact toxicity on the liver, how it does it, the in depth of everything. And I could go on every single subject. And so it's like, I try and speak fast so I can get as much info to you without also giving you too much info that and just going on and on and on and on. What's next? As far as increasing serotoninogenic activity in the gut without the use of anything probiotic, are there any specific supplements that have a pronounced effect? Do you think 5-HTP is good for this? I don't like 5-HTP. So serotonin, one of the first things I say, are you a carb craver? One of the biggest things is carbs, things that feed bacteria is what you want. And that's why a lot of people have carb cravings, right? Because carbs will you know, like serotonin in your brain. Carbs will increase tryptophan uptake over the other amino acids, increase serotonin. So a carb-only meal is one of the best things I find for helping serotonin, but not a little. If you're gonna have fructose, a little bit, because fructose will actually deplete your tryptophan. But yeah, carbs in general as a solo meal released into your gut is one of the things I find that is one of the most important things when running liver subs like ox bile, taurine, and TUDCA. How many should you run while on a cycle? So it's completely individual. Some people who, like me, if I run 10 milligrams D-bol, my liver is shot and I need a high dose of, you know, what may and or work the best or everything. So completely individual. Most people, when they run TUDCA, like TUDCA in studies is used upwards 2 grams a day. They run too little. Completely individual. My first bet is usually say to do something like ox bile example at a really high dose and after every single meal and or before. The key here is the dose and the frequency. Like using ox bile, you could run 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams every single meal basically, and this usually works for most people. Happy birthday, G. Thanks, I appreciate it, Tishar. Is KFC good for protein source? Absolutely. Great protein, lots of chicken. The only issue is the wheat and the deep fried vegetable oil. So yeah. Time's at 5:34 a.m. 11 watching. I'm gonna put my food on in a second, guys, but what I'm gonna cook is probably gonna take about an hour to cook, so it shouldn't matter too much. Oh wow, I was going to use 500 milligrams ox bile. I'll bump it up. You may be able to get away with it. If you're talking like once a day, you probably won't notice nothing. So yeah, definitely you want to up it. I'd say, you know, start off at 500 to 1,000 milligrams for a couple of the meals and see where you're at. Can we see a leg training vlog? That's what I was supposed to do before I got sick there. It was actually leg day when I got sick there. Yeah, so what I've been doing for legs anyways, I'll kind of sum it up. I kind of varied up. I always go by feeling. So what I've been doing is I start off with a little bit of wide split squats with holding the dumbbells. You know, because my legs, I need a lot more inner thighs, abductors, and hamstrings and glutes. So every time I do some type of compound movement for leg, I ensure that it's a movement that is hitting everywhere else on my leg muscles, while hitting, you know, the quads. But because, you know, you do like a close or front squats, you're going to hit a lot less of the other muscles, right? More so quads. So my leg workouts are everything like wide stance from the inner thighs and leaning forward so I can hit glutes and ham more and so on. So I've been doing wide grip, wide stance squats within the dumbbells held to my sides. And then I'll go to a Bulgarian split squat with my leg to the side and further forward while leaning forward to hit more glutes and hams. And then I'll do stiff-legged deadlifts. And then I'll do glute thrust on the bench, and then I'll go do some calves on my stairs with no weights. But I'll do a workout of it soon anyways. I've had blood work while on tren and liver values were around twice the upper range. Was not using any orals at the time. Was it due to tren or just a strenuous workouts with no rest? No, tren. Here's the thing I always tell people when they say when they ask about appetite suppressing things. I say, one, are you on tren or are you on orals? Consider tren an oral basically for the effects on liver. Tren causes colitis just the same way that, just as much as orals do. It'll impair bile flow, it'll have you nauseated, no appetite, constipated, bloated, and all that crap. So yeah, tren, consider it like orals. You need TUDCA, ox bile, whatever. Are you not eating dairy at all? Or you can have pizza sometimes. So when I'm not doing anything, I'll absolutely have pizza and milkshakes and all that crap. Can I have it right now? I think I've ate pizza once. But yeah, absolutely don't suggest it for health reasons. Like I said, dairy is proven to raise estrogen in men and boys, and you know, so many people that had gyno issues, I tell them get off dairy, and they notice their gyno issues go away. And then it's prostate cancer and effects and stuff like that. So for health wise, I never suggest dairy. I don't like it. And then on top of it, I personally shouldn't have dairy. Well, I mean, in everybody, there's a study on whey, and they showed it slowed the transit time in every single participant, healthy or not. Myself, like most people, I tell them get off whey, and they notice their appetite and their digestion improves. So me, whenever I have any bit of dairy, my digestion slows hugely. So, you know, whether like for results, like can I have pizza and stuff like that? Absolutely yes, but it's going to slow my appetite and it's going to slow my results. Trend is like 4 times stronger than test. Result wise, not so much. Like, you know, if somebody runs the same equal dose trend, they're not going to gain 50 pounds versus somebody on test gaining, you know, 10 pounds or whatever, right? On paper, yes, but on paper doesn't equal out to real world results like ever with any of the steroids. We've all fallen to the GH15 trend meme. Yeah, most people have. I haven't. I used Tren when I was like 20, before GH15 was even out, and I did 50 milligrams every other day, and it caused so much hair shedding. I only used it for 1.5 weeks and never touched it again. Absolutely hate Tren. Will never touch it again. So I never fell to it, just because. Here's the thing. I fell to the GH15 dosage thing for a bit. That's when I tried my mega dosing thing. I was like, okay, you can just use mega dose, and maybe you can grow with just eating, you know, normal. So I did the mega dosing, and I didn't gain shit. So that's like the GH15 thing, where you use 300 milligrams a day. Hey, well, I use 300 milligrams of this and that a day, and some other shit, and more, and you know, yeah. So I fell to that, where it's like I wanted to just see, is more better in the sense that you can run more and not have to stuff your freaking face and still get, you know, the good results. What is best drugs for shedding in terms of side effects? So I have an article on my site where I list how to pick your cycles, and so let me try and like vaguely quickly explain it. I suggest pick your cycles around the sides you want to avoid. Somebody like me, if I wanted to shred up, as example you're saying, I would only use Deca or D-ball anabolic wise. And the reason for that is because anything else causes me hair loss. So what is the best item depends on what side you're trying to avoid. If you don't get any side effects on anything, then you're open to a plethora of drugs, right? One of my favorite drugs for looking hard and leaning up is T-ball example. That's my favorite, bar none. However, that causes hair loss. So, you know, so that is a different answer for different people. T-ball is, bar none, if I have to pick one drug, is my favorite drug, anabolic wise. And then if you couldn't use that in hair loss, you only have Dec and D-ball, and then it would be D-ball. Have you used Anabar? Yeah, for a very short stint, caused me hair loss, and then ditched it. I still like T-ball way better than it compared to any other one. Sorry, any other cutting drug. Earlier you mentioned that Accutane could cause hair loss. Will this be reversible after you stopping it? Tricky. When a drug doesn't cause hair loss hormone related, medically everybody always likes to say, like doctors and stuff, oh yes, it's reversible. However, it is hormone related. Vitamin A is a strong aromatase inhibitor, and what we see in balding men is an increase in 5-AR in the scalp tissue, and a decrease in aromatase. That's why estrogen is hair protective. So you are actually getting multiple hair. You're getting hair loss from a variety of different mechanisms with Accutane, and one of them happens to be hormone caused by hormones, which is it acting as an aromatase inhibitor. So is it gonna come back just on its own? Nobody can answer that for you, right? Can you try your best to recover it, like you see, you know, guys on my page or whatever have? Absolutely. I would like to. Here's the thing. Usually, Accutane is a bit of a slower hair loss, usually versus somebody who's blasting hormones. So I would say you could look at it as an easier to recover. I can't think of the word. But I would pin it as something easier to recover from. Read that. Never mind, I read that one too. What amount of calories are you aiming for each day, and how much body fat are you aiming for once you finish? Trying to think of how I can do this. I'll post in my group. I'm not sure if you're in my Facebook group, Tian, the Bodybuilding Chemical. I'll post some pictures there. Body fat, I'm not aiming for anything in general. I'm basically knowing my body, I will stay the same or lean up. So that is my goal, but not necessarily my goal because I want as much weight as possible. But I know my body, no matter how much I eat, I'll stay the same or I'll lean up. I've leaned up a little bit. So I've leaned up a little bit, and that's probably what will happen. I may lean up a tiny bit more, or maybe not much more at all. We'll see. As for calories, I still haven't nailed down my diet because I just hate the stress of having a pre-planned diet and having to eat this and do that. How many calories am I aiming for? Let me answer this one. Am I aiming for? I would like to eat 6,000 calories minimum. Am I eating 6,000 calories minimum? No. Especially since I've been sick there, it's a lot less. I was going to do this on the forum because I have the members transformation thing on the forum. I was going to start listing, like, logging my diet each day, exactly what I'm eating, just for those interested to see actually what I'm going through, because it's kind of been a little bit all over the place, especially since I got sick there. But I am aiming for 6A, but I am not hitting 6A, nowhere near. I'm absolutely not. I need to get my shit together, especially now that I'm feeling better. Today's diet was going good. It's a little bit off right now because I should have put my food on before I started the live stream, and we're about 87 minutes into it, so I'm being a bit of an idiot right now. But yeah, so 4K calories minimum, which is not a lot for me considering my height and my weight right now. I want to say realistically, hold on, let me add it up, something in chronometer right now. I like buckwheat. Is it good for lean bulking? It's a healthy carb source because of its nutrient density. So absolutely it's good for bulking or cutting. 400 grams, 500 grams. So I would say, well, no, because I was sick and I was eating a lot less. 100 grams, 100 grams. So 50, 50, 50. Sorry, guys. 0, 0. Let's try this. So I would say I need to actually just track it fully for you guys to show you. 4K cows on average ish, maybe upwards 5K. I hate answering this question because I've been all over the place, you know what I mean? So yeah, asking what I'm aiming for, what I'm actually doing, and then I've been off, and yeah, I need to, now that I'm back into it, I need to track it for you guys better. Can I make a good body with herniated discs? I have sciatic in both legs. Absolutely. Especially leg movement, like obviously actually, it could interfere some upper body stuff, but especially doing light weights and things that don't hinder you as much. And I like a more limited ROM range either, which, less ROM on a lot of exercises is, it can be more comfortable for your issue as well. And I prefer that for muscle growth anyway. So less ROM, lighter weights and stuff like that. Absolutely. No doubt about it. Okay, I'm gonna go put my food on, guys. It should only take me about 3 minutes. It's already ready. Basically, I just need to toss it in the oven. Yeah, I'm gonna go put my food on. Give me about 3 minutes. Yeah, I just need to put my food on. It's all ready. Yeah, okay, so give me about 3 minutes. Yeah, all right. One sec, guys. All right. Hey guys, thanks for waiting. What is your opinion on DECA versus NPP? Should you run the DECA slightly longer than 6 weeks because of the kick-in time? Go to my website, Accutane.com. Under articles, you'll see androgen receptor downregulation, short versus long cycles. Give that a read. I cite the studies, and I think I reference all the studies. So, absolutely no. There are studies on long esters, including DECA, where they showed that all the weight gain stopped by week 6. So it's not just the other steroids that are showing 90% of the gains or in strength and size within the first 6 weeks of the cycle. So even DECA, the gains stopped by week 6. In studies and then in my real world experience on myself and on my followers and clients, that's any single one, by week 6, your gains stop fully. You're basically, you gain a whole bunch of weight that came easy and then you're struggling to gain a single pound afterwards. However, there also is studies on long ester versus short esters where they showed the long esters, milligram per milligram equal, 100 milligrams DECA, 100 milligrams NPP, that the longer ester had over double the nitrogen retention. So it is more anabolic, essentially. So that is always one thing I tell people to consider. But does it translate specifically on paper? In real world results? Not double gains? No, it doesn't. If it did, I wouldn't be running NPP right now over DECA. Is Clen good for shredding? Absolutely. Like anything, it comes with its side effects and whatnot. But the side effect profile wise, I consider Clen, decently pretty safe. So yeah, Clen is one of the things that I do suggest even. Adam says, hey. Sorry guys, just looking something up. Want to wait for questions. What am I doing? Is it true that mass builds no muscle? Absolutely not true. The studies on mass building muscle, mass builds muscle. Though running a DHT solo is going to be less muscle growth than running something that creates estrogen and so on like that. How much kind would you run per day? Very individual. You're asking me, I'm not telling you what to run, but you're asking me my personal preference in a sense. What I may suggest? 40 upwards, 160th mcg. When I first used Clen, everybody, the normal was for everybody to run was 200 mcg a day. That was the normal. That was back like 10 years ago. In any formula, see 200 mcg a day was the normal starting dose, basically. What am I doing? So guys, just checking something on my computer quickly. Okay. Would that be the same for females, or should they run like half the dose as a male? Basically the same, depending on somebody's side effects they're getting from it. I'm just trying to be real here, and I know some people may have a hissy fit with stuff like that, but it's about the same. Clen, let's say you want to base it off body weight, then a little bit less for females, but considering males can use a very hefty dose, and yeah, it's about the same. We have 12 people watching right now. Sometimes when there's a modest amount of people watching and there's no questions, I'm wondering if I should need to be doing something entertaining or not. So I guess 1 second. Help herniated disc. It can indirectly with healing. You should start playing games on the stream. You know, I actually thought about it. This is kind of like more of like a hangout, chill time. Yeah, I thought about setting that up. Thought it would be kind of fun. What am I doing? Yeah, okay, what week are we on? Today we're like day 22, so that's like the 3rd week. I really need to hit 250 pounds and feel that huge. I usually feel around the 4th week. Like I see visual changes in the mirror. I'm really looking more muscular, but a lot more filling out. Usually I notice happens around the 4th week. So what am I doing? So I'm just trying to do something on the computer here. Yeah, I really suck at first-person shooter games. I play stuff like first-person shooters with my one buddy's really good sometimes, and I literally just like, it's me trying not to get killed the whole time, basically. Pretty funny. But I know most people like first-person shooter games today mostly. I've just never really been into them, more so the MMORPGs. Sorry guys, I need to have a snack. I should have cooked my meal like over an hour ago. Now I'm going to have a extremely protein rich snack while I wait. No carbs, no nothing. That would even be more entertaining. People don't watch people play for skill. MMO's on my thing too. I don't know why I just ate that. Now my hand is literally covered in. You can't touch the goddamn mouse. I mean, I can touch it, just be covered. Yeah, I definitely love MMOs. So yeah, I'm just trying to do something on my laptop here. I'm actually trying to figure out the streaming thing. How to get that set up. There's 14 people watching, but nobody's really saying anything right now. I was gonna read old questions like in the group and stuff like that, like people post and answer questions that way, but I don't feel like looking for them right now. Hold on. Mouth's too full now. Did you notice a lot of bodybuilders have some fat under the chin? Or even when lean? Is it due to water retention? Yeah, you'll notice it in the new age bodybuilders now. They do due to GH use more so, and that they're not as lean as they actually are. The thing is, they're running so many compounds that are filling up the muscles full of water. They don't have to be as lean, but they run. They're full of water, the muscle, so it stretches out the fat that they do have, so they appear leaner with more water in the muscle. So most of these guys aren't as lean as they actually look. And most people can notice this too, because the striations are missing a lot too, right? World of Warcraft was my thing for ages, but now I'm grinding Fortnite. Yeah, EverQuest was mostly my thing, if you know that game. You probably heard of it. It was just before a while, but most people don't, because unless you're my age-ish, usually. Learning tips for dental health. Absolutely. Hold on. Bad idea to eat on stream. Dental health. Don't follow the Western diet, standard American diet. They fortify the shit out of everything with calcium. They force calcium. Many people don't realize that too much calcium, proven in studies, is proven to cause cavities. Too much. Your bones and teeth are made of half phosphorus, half calcium, and a couple other micronutrients and minerals. Most people get too much calcium, and humans, it showed more phosphorus was better in the diet than calcium. And that's why you think of when we're an adult, we transition off of milk, and the only food sources around us are really high phosphorus and not as much calcium. Then you look at certain Asian cultures, which are really low calcium, and they're a lot higher, more phosphorus, and they they have less osteoporosis rates and stuff like that. Adequate magnesium, adequate phosphorus, adequate what was I saying? Vitamin K. So vitamin K. So if you're following my diet advice, you are likely getting enough vitamin D and A because you're taking cod liver oil or eating more fish. The next thing that's missing is magnesium, but if you're following my diet, that I suggest a lot of seeds, which are high in magnesium. Most people don't get enough magnesium today. And the last thing is vitamin K2. So our cows will normally eat grass, and they would get K1, and from K1 in their gut, they would convert with bacteria. They would convert K1 into K2. Our meat products now have about half the K2 because they are living off grains and not grass. K2 is what will help take the calcium from your blood and into your bones and your teeth. So ensuring you're getting the proper nutrients for proper dental health. The next thing for this is a big thing, especially depending on how you eat. Don't have acidic products or even sugars and whatnot sitting on your teeth for long, even if it's sugars. So there's a study where they actually had people swish during their meal and after, and this is a big thing I'm a big proponent on, because I will miss out on brushing my teeth all the time now, and I'll eat complete shit a lot of the time. So one of the biggest things I do to keep up with my oral health is between every bites, or sometimes after every bite, just depends on what I'm doing. Even if I'm out, I will swish water in my mouth. Just help getting rid of that acid and food particles as you're eating. And then you don't have to make it a chore, but while I'm drinking, while I'm eating, why not swish it? So I was saying, yeah, so switching is one of the biggest preventatives I can say that you can do outside of diet. And it's just as simple as I give a quick swish in my mouth between my bites. So yeah, that is one of the biggest preventative things I would say that people can do, and helps prevent cavities. Another thing is, it's a big trend right now. People, they say, oh, don't brush your teeth after you eat because of the acids. That's totally bullshit. Yes, it's harmful to brush your teeth right after you eat acids, but you letting it sit there for 30 minutes is not any better. Sorry, it's a little bit better. That's not what you should be doing. I always have baking soda in the bathroom, so whenever I eat something acidic, I'll put a little baking soda in my mouth and I'll swish that with water after the meal. That way it kills all the acids that are in your mouth. So those are the two biggest preventative measures that I like. Not keeping acid in contact with your teeth for long, whether it's swishing with baking soda or swishing with water between and after your meals. It is a major help with dental health. Other than that, like, I hate going into the diet aspect because it's like, I can list everything good with diet, but it's like you should be eating the perfect healthy diet anyways, in a sense. All the nutrients proven to help your teeth, like boron is important for your teeth health. The silica is important for your teeth health. There's so many nutrients important for your dental health that it's such a cop-out thing that I say when I just say eat a healthy diet and that'll fix the majority of all your issues. Which is true, but the issue is many people don't know what a healthy diet is. They think they're eating the healthy diet, but they're not. And so, yeah. I was reading on a forum that a person had water retention from their cycle with swollen ankles. He said he started eating bananas and it helped with the swelling. Well, bananas, high in potassium. So, too much potassium can make you hold water. And too low potassium can make you hold water, and same with salt. Too much salt can make you hold water, and too low salt can. So let's say you're holding too much salt, which water follows salt, and your potassium is low. You raise potassium, it'll help your body get rid of the salt, and vice versa. So when you overdose on salt, you will actually lower your aldosterone too much, and which helps you hold the water, and that'll cause you to lose water. So all individual too high or too low of either of the two main electrolytes, sodium and potassium, will cause water retention. So yeah, too low potassium will cause it, but too high potassium will also cause it, because potassium actually raises aldosterone, and aldosterone makes you hold water. So it's a perfect balance that you need. Is that because his body was storing water and sodium and the potassium helped get rid of it? Yeah, basically what I said. Hold on. Hold up. Okay. You mentioned that DECA makes you feel really stoic. Why do that many people report DECA, trying to make them feel insecure, jealous, possessive stuff? This is a combination with tests. One sec. My hands are covered. I'll read that again. You mentioned that DECA makes you feel really stoic. Why is it that many people report DECA trying to making them feel insecure, jealous, possessive, and stuff? Is it the combination with tests? Absolutely. As you'll see, me and all my guys who run no test-based cycles with estrogen kept in range, you feel like, the man, whatever, very stoic. What you picture in like a 1960s household, when you watch movies. You're very carefree and calm, and nothing really gets you. You're very stoic. Jealousy and stuff just doesn't matter. So it doesn't affect you as much. This is coming from, people report this on my group all the time, and somebody like me, myself, when I would run test cycles. See, the issue when you say DECA and trend and then you say with test is because, example, DECA will raise aromatization, so it makes tests make more estrogen than it normally would. So that's why it can increase your issues on test. Whether I'm on test or test and DECA, absolutely I'm jealous, insecure. It's not even that. It's like, it heightens all of your emotions in a sense. I don't want to say just jealousy and insecurity. You know what I mean? One minute you'll be worried about like, oh, does my girlfriend love me? You know what I mean? Or maybe she loves somebody else more, and it's not like a crazy thing. It's just more of like, a random thought you'd get in your head, like, just throughout the day, and it just like heightens it. It's something, it does, it's like estrogen, women on their periods, on birth control, they go, I don't want to say crazy, but everything is heightened, and it makes you not you in a sense. So absolutely, you notice that, and coming from somebody who used testing, it made me more emotional in every single way. yeah, that does happen, whether it was on test or test with DECA. But using DECA, it's like, it's a completely different change. You feel amazing, stoic, like the man. You just feel like, things don't bother you. You feel like how you should feel is the best way to describe it, is what I say. Is it possible to overeat on seeds? I eat around 300 grams of seeds every day, mostly hemp and sunflower. Could the high amount of copper and magnesium offset anything else? Absolutely. I'm not sure how much copper, magnesium, and whatnot is in seeds. 300 grams of seeds. Copper, unlikely, because it is kind of suggested that the RDA of copper is possibly 8 to 4 times less than what it should be, actually. So I wouldn't worry about copper. I doubt you're getting that much magnesium. Here's the thing, us overeating food in general, you're overeating calories. Example, look at carbs. Every single carb you eat requires a specific amount of the B vitamins, requires a specific amount of potassium. Polyunsaturated fats require a specific amount of vitamin E, a very specific milligram to gram ratio. So if you're eating more, you're eating double the amount of nutrients that are going to use double the amount of magnesium or vitamin E. It'd be silly to be like, oh, I need to get the RDAs. No, you need a lot more, because you're utilizing a lot more. And if you don't get that, your body's going to deplete your stores of your vitamins and minerals. We see this with white rice example, cultures that had to live off white rice. They actually developed things like beriberi disease, which is a B1 deficiency, because to utilize the carbs, you need a specific amount of B1, and it had to steal it from the body to utilize the carbs that they were eating. Because normally brown rice in nature would come with B1 with it, or an adequate amount. And when it's stripped into white rice, it's lacking the B1. So you worrying about getting too much magnesium? I would say no, because you are requiring that much magnesium because you are overeating in general. But can you get too much of any one nutrient? Absolutely, you can. But you eating seeds and all the other food you're eating, I doubt your magnesium is like offsetting other things in that sense, because you're getting a whole bunch of other nutrients with the seeds as well. Also, do you know vitamin B12 depletes? It's so much, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many nutrients that deplete each other, and antagonists or agonists, whatever. Don't quote me on this. It's 6 a.m. I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. I think B12 out of the B vitamins. I think B12. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. You're gonna have to Google this one after. B12 has, I can't remember if it's folate and or B2. I can't remember. Those are just random ones off the top of my head. It may have been one of those where you increase B12, it depleted like folate, and you need more folate. But don't quote me on that. I am tired, and yeah, do not quote me on that. Hi mate, if you're applying topical finasteride, what would be better for your hair, DECA or Debo only? Just because I know Fin has adverse effects on DECA. Neither DECA or Debo are going to cause hair loss. Does finasteride make DECA more androgenic? Yes, but my experience is that it still doesn't cause hair loss. There was that one study, if you forget what it was in, it made DECA like 1.5 times more androgenic than than its parent normal form. It was still not, from my experience, it's still not enough to cause hair loss. Here's the thing. The studies, whether they're testing it on prostate or things like that, don't necessarily end up equaling your androgen receptors in the hair follicle, as an example. Because if this were the case, there is okay, look at that, because they test the prostate with, let's say, Anavar or Winstrol, all these very low androgenic drugs, and it barely affects the prostate, but it affects the scalp tissue. And could that be to multiple different mechanisms? Absolutely, such as depleting scalp fat. But what we know is that the scalp tissue, it is not the prostate, and us looking at studies testing things on the prostate do not translate to other tissues, organs, whatever. It would be silly to even think that it does. In my experience, DECA and finasteride, you will not see hair loss regardless. So yeah. Sorry guys, I'm still gonna try and eat here. I'm like really hungry. Shouldn't have waited this long to eat. 16 viewers. 100% absolutely. I seem to get brain fog from taking omega-3 supplements like krill oil and cod liver oil. Is it something you come across before? Could it be due to omega-3 omega-6 ratio? Absolutely. I hate this fad today of people saying get more omega-3, get more omega-3. There's studies on it showing that people avoiding omega-6 is worse off for your heart health, inflammation, all this other stuff. Your omega-3 and omega-6 should not be equal. It is the stupidest thing ever. I don't know where it came from. There is actual studies showing people that when they had, I forget what it was, maybe it was 4-to-1 of omega-6 to omega-3, they had the best cognitive function, memory, and all that stuff. Absolutely, I feel that. Every single person I know that tries to up their omega-3 and lower their omega-6 feels insanely worse off. And what was I saying? And here's the thing with the bodybuilder diet. You don't get much omega-6 anyways. You're eating like lean meats, chicken, rice, broccoli, and all these stupid foods, and you're really avoiding omega-6s. Omega-6 is bad and inflammatory and all this other stuff. So absolutely, and especially with GLA being, here's the thing, when you take those specific items, you're not just getting omega-3, but you're getting the secondary the secondary fatty acids like ALA and like DHA and EPA. And you need the secondary form of the omega-6s like the linoleic acid, GLA, to also help balance with those items too. So you're getting a direct source of high amounts of DHA and EPA without the GLA to counterbalance it. Where was I going with this? I don't even remember now. And this is why there's studies on people getting insomnia, anxiety, and stuff like that from fish oil supplements and things like that, is because their other fatty acids are actually off. So yeah. 19 viewers. Jesus. We're a hit now. People are just waking up. 6:20 a.m. here now, Eastern. Thanks a bunch, T. Really love the live streams and your work a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you. Had a blood test done, and I had high B12. Doc tested for cancer, and it was negative. So I was wondering if my body is storing it and not using it. That's why I asked what vitamin would deplete it lower. Okay, so you meant you want to deplete B12. Few things with that. One, I would say, what raises B12 in that? Something raises B12, so I'm a little bit tired, so my mind's not working optimally here. There's a specific nutrient thing that I remember when B12 came back high, that what was causing it. I'm trying to remember. The brain's blank. Oh, guys. Hold on, let me look for what I think I'm in, or I think I'm thinking of. B12 and what was it? Was it this? No, it wasn't that. Wait, maybe NAC depletes it. I think NAC might deplete it. Okay. Cysteine, methylthionein, and or NAC might deplete B12. I can't remember off the top of my head. I can't find it. It's taking me a bit longer. So methylthionine, cysteine, and NAC. Don't quote me on that. I'll look at it later. But those might lower your B12. So my brain is going off right now, guys, just because I'm tired now. But there's a specific reason, and I'm like literally brain dead right now as to why B12 is raised on its own. And obviously I'm assuming you didn't take any supplements. And I know there is one specific issue where B12 is raised, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Trying to find the goddamn study. I know there's a specific mechanism and I cannot remember it. See if I can find the study. I'm trying to think of it quickly. I can't think of what I'm trying to look for. Yeah, I can't. I'm not getting what I want in searches because I can't think of what I'm trying to look for. How is the transformation going, by the way? Are you where you want it to be? So I answered this a few times already. Try and recap it again, just so people don't have to hear it 20 times over. After I did my last live stream there, my tonsils got really swollen and I started feeling really off, and I was like, okay, maybe this would go. It's whatever. It's just a virus. They continued to get swollen and I continued to feel like crap. I was exhausted, fatigued. I couldn't eat. So I went and got antibiotics. Got antibiotics. I've been on them about 3 days. I missed workouts, missed shots. I ate half-assed, and then I had about 3 days where I, didn't work out. I just was a complete mess. Missed all my shots, and I was debating on calling it quits. But I'm feeling like 100% better now. It's about the third day on antibiotics. And yeah, so not where I should be, not where I wanted to be, but I decided I'm going to continue anyways, and I should absolutely hit at least 250 minimum, absolutely minimum. But still hoping for about 260 since I lost about a week there. So that's basically the update for that. Yeah. I think I might end this in a minute here, guys. We're at the 2-hour mark. That's not bad. I'm getting pretty freaking tired. Like you guys know if you watch my other live streams, as soon as I start getting tired, my brain starts going to mush and can't form sentences, and my energy just starts dwindling fast and bad. Yeah. 12 watching. Yeah, I'm gonna end it in a couple minutes, I think. Here, I kind of want to figure out this this streaming thing so you guys can see my screen. How does that work? Actually, I figured it out last time. Laptop webcam. Yeah, I'm gonna figure out how to get my screen showing on here. I had it up before, but it was tricky because I wanted to, because my phone is much better quality than the laptop webcam, so I wanted to figure that out. You know what OBS is? You download that and it's easy to set up. You drag overlays on what shows. Yeah, that's what I have, and that's what my buddy showed me how to use it before. But it was tricky because my laptop webcam isn't the best. So I had it set up so that my phone was connected via, it's IP, I don't know, whatever crap. The phone was connected to my laptop, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, whatever, you know what I mean? It's like connected that way. It wasn't actually physically connected, so that I could, the main camera source was the phone, and I need to figure out how to how to set that up again. I'm gonna make that work. I think I'm gonna figure that out after. Is there any reason for a natty who's just looking for optimal health to do a decacycle or two? I'm not looking to get huge, just to feel as good as possible. Depends on what you mean feel as good as possible. Like, I think, and most people agree, like, you feel mentally and everything better when you're off hormones and recovered. I always feel at my best, my peak, when I'm off everything. But if you're asking for physique wise, then absolutely. Like, I mean, nothing's ever going to compare to steroids, right? If you're worried about shutdown, go to tian.com, read my How to Prevent Shutdown article, or my YouTube video in here. I posted studies how to take, sorry guys, my brain is gone now because I'm tired. I post with studies that showing on anabolic steroids, you can fully prevent shutdown 100% if you take Clomid on cycle. Take it before, you will fully prevent shutdown, and your body will never know it was shut down, and you will remain natural, and your natural hormone production will remain intact. So if you're worried about shutdown because you're a natural and you want to get the benefits of steroids, absolutely, you're going to get amazing gains. Take steroids, but you can prevent your shutdown. I literally just got up to use the bathroom, so my brain is broken too, but the beard is looking good. Terry, gonna start microneedling daily to try to get my sideburns filled in. Any other tips? Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing with it. I've been shaving my beard, keeping it short, right? I haven't shaved in a bit. I don't know what I'm doing with it. Microneedling, you're going to see the best results. The next best thing, and I don't suggest this, is rubbing something like DHT oil on your beard, right? But then you risk some side effects, right? Like hair loss and stuff. So be consistent with microneedling, and you're going to see the best results possible with microneedling. Just keep that up and do it properly. The proper depth and frequency. That's easy. Use something called IP webcam or IP camera. It's set up on here. I had it set, it's still in like my options. I'm on it right now, and it has my phone shown up. But I remember I had to go on my phone, and when I was on my phone, I had to have that connected. I had to have that going, that connected to the thing too. And I just can't. I need to Google and look at the step-by-step options for that for sure. Because yeah, well, let me maybe semi-try it right now. Where is it? OBS? Yeah, where was this? I'm so lost. I set this up like 2 years ago. Where my buddy showed me how. No, I don't remember. Yes, you need the app on phone. It's easy. Well, I know I have whatever I have on here. I think what you're saying is a different thing, obviously, that way to set it up. The way I swear, but I'm not too sure, that in OBS, yeah, I don't think it was another app that the way I did have it set up. I don't remember any single thing. My brain is so complete mush right now. Like, I can't even think. Ugh, I kind of regret putting food on now because I'm so tired. I shouldn't have waited so late to eat. I should have just had something smaller. Editor. Yeah, I'm gonna Google that step by step later or whatever. I don't think it was an extra app. I mean, I can do that way, obviously, if that's another way. But I swore what we did was I just had OBS on my phone and OBS on the laptop, and then they were both connected through the IP or whatever there. But if I need to do another way, whatever. Sorry, I almost sneeze. I think I'm gonna sneeze. No, sneeze. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm dead tired. My brain is complete mush right now. Yeah, I'm gonna log off. at 6:30 a.m. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for asking questions. Thanks for joining. Now that I'm not sick, hopefully I'm back on a good schedule here, and I get the live streams more consistent. Yeah, I'm rambling on like I always do when it's late and I'm live streaming, and I'm just, yeah, brain mush. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. I'll hopefully be back to live streaming frequent again, and yeah, I'm gonna quickly go eat or do whatever and sleep or something. Literally my brain can't even think of what I'm doing. So Snack used to treat a lot of things other than helping with liver protection for a cycle. Yeah, but it also has its dangers too. Like yeah, I think the reason I don't suggest it is because it depletes B12 or zinc. I don't get my brain as much. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Yeah, all right, I said it like 10 times. I'll chat with you guys soon.